When the market goes up, you go up. When the market goes down, you don't go down. Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
Welcome to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Brad is a retirement and income specialist, primarily serving Springfield, but he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Pistole is a licensed life insurance professional in the states of Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas, and he specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
And now, here to talk with you about securing your retirement, your host, Brad Pistole.
Hello, this is Brad Pistole, your host, welcoming you to Safe Money Radio. I am an asset and retirement protection specialist and your one-stop source for capital preservation and strategic income planning. Well, hello, everyone. Whether this is the first time you've ever listened to the show or whether you've been listening for many, many years, I've been on for 13 years. That from time to time I have special guests on the show. I've had Heather Schreiber, Social Security expert. I've had America's IRA expert Ed Slott on the show. I've had Tom Hegna on the show. Today, I have a great friend on the show with us, and this is a special relationship. I have someone that's connected to the whole reason why you're watching or listening right now. So my good friend, Carl Muehlemeyer from Denver, Colorado is with us today. Carl, thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here. I can't tell you how excited I am to be here and how honored I am, honestly. I was thinking a little bit about before we started, and we have 100 Safe Money Radio hosts across the country, and each of them are unique in their own way. Everybody is working in the same space, the retirement space, helping and serving people that are retired or about to retire. But there is truly only one Brad Pistole. So for
Did y'all
you,
hear that?
for you, and I mean this with all sincerity, for you and for all of your listeners, there is only one Brad Pistole. When I say that, it's primarily because you are unique in that you never stop learning. You never stop studying and educating yourself so that you can better serve your clients. And I just want to commend you for that. And
thank you.
Well, and I know you're recognized a lot for that too. And most recently, the Springfield Business Journal, right, as one of the most trusted advisors. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great honor, a super neat thing to get to experience with some other local people from banking, wealth management, insurance, real estate. It was a neat thing. Honored to be one of the SBJ Trusted Advisors of the Year. So
absolutely.
That brings up a great point. We're going to talk about several different things today. And if you've listened to me anytime I've got a guest on, we have no script. Carl has no clue what I'm about to ask him or what we're about to talk about.
I'm a little scared.
Yep. But there is one thing he just said. He talked about education, and I'll tell you why it's important. Hunter and I, my son and I, third generation financial planning people. My father was in the business for 52 years before he passed away. I know a lot of our listeners know my father passed on August 29th of this year, and he had every financial designation under the sun. He worked for Merrill Lynch. He worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield. He worked independently with us for a decade. But my son and I, we just completed the Retirement Income Certified Professional course through the American College of Financial Services. And I've done a lot of incredible things educationally. My Ed Slott education that's ongoing is bar none the number one greatest thing that's happened to me educationally, but the RICP is right up there. And Ed was one of the teachers in the RICP course. So that was super neat. But I'll tell you this, why that's so important. This morning before you got here, and we haven't even told you that, Carl's visiting from Denver, Colorado this morning. We had one of our absolute favorite clients, their daughter called and said, I need to talk to Brad. And Hunter came in and said, hey, Dad, you need to take this call. And literally one of my favorite people on this earth, he passed away this week. Mm-hmm. And he's not married. His daughter is his primary beneficiary. And in that type of situation, you immediately start thinking through all the things that come with it that a beneficiary is never going to think about. I'm thinking, okay, his IRA accounts, his Roth accounts, what's cash account, what is the tax status. She's not a spouse, she's a child. So that means under the new law, it is an inherited IRA or an inherited Roth IRA. And she's asking all these questions about, how do I even go about touching this money? And do they just write me a check, or are there rules I have to follow? And of course, yes, there's all kinds of rules you have to follow. So I immediately email one of our Ed Slot group members, Andy Ives, and say, hey, here's the situation. Here's what we've got. This is an inherited IRA and Roth IRA, but he also just did Roth conversions in the last 2 years. And those have 5-year clock rules that start, and those rules pass on to the beneficiaries. So that is why education is so critically important. I always say, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I know someone who is.
That's another great point. You have always associated yourself and sought out the greatest minds in our industry, like Ed Slott, like Heather Schreiber for Social Security, or Tom Hegna is a great example too, especially when you're talking about income. So those alliances are equally as important as the education.
Absolutely. And to be able to share that with our listeners, to all the people who are listening right now or who are watching. And by the way, if you never have listened before, it's your first time ever, we're glad that you're joining us. Let me give you a phone number, 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. We probably have our information up here where you can go to our website. You can see our local phone number. But if you want our free information, and I offer this every week, if you want a copy of either of my best-selling books, Safe Money Matters or Bulletproof, the Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan, with the foreword by America's IRA expert, Ed Slott, he wrote that foreword, we'll give you a copy free. Just call us. We'll give you our Safe Money Kit. We will do a free financial consultation with you. So anytime while you're listening, just call in 866-780-7233. We'll give you our information absolutely free, and there's always someone standing by to take your call. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
Brad Pistole recently completed the Retirement Income Certified Professional course through the esteemed American College of Financial Services. This elite financial designation sets Brad apart as an expert when it comes to asset preservation and lifetime income planning. The RICP program focuses on key retirement decisions like building your retirement portfolio, evaluating the various retirement risks, choosing the appropriate strategies for turning assets into income, choosing the appropriate time to retire, helping clients maximize their Social Security, choosing the appropriate annuities for your retirement income plan, choosing the appropriate tax-compliant distributions from tax-deferred company plans, choosing the best Medicare health plans for the retiring client, choosing the best way to deal with long-term care in retirement, ethical issues in retirement income planning, and managing the appropriate strategies for taking lifetime income. If you're concerned about the safety of your money, and if you want to make sure you have guaranteed lifetime income you can never outlive, make sure you're working with a retirement income certified professional like Brad Pistole. For a free financial consultation, call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. When you meet with Brad, he will give you a copy of his best-selling book, Bulletproof, the Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. That number again to call Brad is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back to Safe Money Radio. I'm Brad Pistole, a certified financial fiduciary and a safe money retirement specialist. So, Carl, let me ask you this. We've got people listening. If this is the first time they've ever heard of Safe Money Radio, or maybe they've been listening for 13 years, tell us how this whole crazy thing got started. I remember when I got the phone call in late 2009, which changed my life forever. But how did Safe Money Radio even start?
It's crazy to think it's been, since 2008 that it's been that long, but
wow.
yeah. it started with there's, and I think there's still a gap, in specializing in retirement and income planning.
Yes.
There are, of course, lots of brokers and financial advisors that specialize in helping people accumulate wealth, but they don't help them in the way. They're not trained. They don't have the tools, the education that we just talked about that someone like you possesses. So we started Save Money Radio back in 2008 to try and help people find quality retirement planning professionals that specialize and can truly serve and help people that are retired or about to retire. So we started that in 2008, and it's been a great way. We have a network of and a family, really is more accurate. I mean, you've gotten to know a lot of those guys
from all over the country.
Mentored a lot of those guys.
Yes.
From all over the country, and share ideas and on how they're serving their communities and the clients in their communities. But yeah, we started in 2008, and there's about 100 or so advisors across the country.
Yeah.
And it's been a great thing. I think we've helped serve a lot of people across the country.
Well, everyone likes to think that they're the original idea. And I like to say, I certainly have watched a lot of people try to copy us over the years because these shows have popped up all over the place, and they try to have similar names and that sort of thing. But we're grateful for, I know, Anthony Owen and a whole bunch of other people that we've worked with that's helped create these things and teach us and share. And so we're super grateful to be able to bring a program like this to the Ozarks, to Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma. But if no matter where you're at, there's probably a Safe Money Radio program local to where you are. I do get calls from all over the place. Springfield is a vacation hub. People come to Bass Pro. They come to see the aquarium. They go to Branson. Lambert's, which we will be doing soon. Mm-hmm. And that's right. So it's neat that people will come here and they'll be like, hey, I heard your show. And I'll notice their phone is from Florida or it's from California or wherever. And I certainly have been able to connect people to our Safe Money Radio guys all over the country, and that's a neat thing.
Yeah.
So if you're listening right now and you're not local, there's probably someone that we know that's a good friend and colleague that can help you in your area. But we are truly retirement income planning specialists. We are going to focus on the safety of your assets. You spent a lot of time building up your assets to get to where you are. And what you don't want is something like what's happening in 2022. You don't want a 20 to 25% market crash right when you start your retirement, because that can decimate your plans for a happy and healthy retirement. We show you how to not do that, how to keep your assets safe, and how to generate lifetime income from those assets. So if you would like to know more about that, just call us anytime, 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. I'll give you a copy of my book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. It talks specifically about how accounts like this work. And I'll also give you my Safe Money Kit. Inside that kit, it's going to talk about, it's going to have client referrals. They're going to talk about why they do business with us and how it's changed their financial plans. But it will also talk specifically about how these things work. So, Carl, thank you so much for sharing that side of the story with us. I want to ask you some other things after the break. But before we take a break, make sure that you write the number down and give us a call, 866-780-7233. There's someone standing by right now to take your call. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
Do you own an annuity? Do you understand what it does, how it works, and if it's right for your retirement plan? Some annuities have fees that might not be justified by their benefits. Some annuities are exposed to significant market risk. Worse yet, if an annuity was sold without proper planning, it can cause unintended consequences for your retirement. If you own an annuity, it's probably a good idea to find out more about how it works and if it's right for you. It's time to give Brad Pistole a call now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Brad will help you review the features and benefits of annuities you currently own without any obligation. Once again, you can call Brad now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Thank you for tuning in to Safe Money Radio. I am Brad Pistole, a market risk mitigation specialist helping clients with retirement money preservation and income planning. Okay, Carl, so we've been talking today about how Safe Money Radio started.
Yeah.
And some of the people maybe didn't even know. They've listened to me for a long time. They thought, well, I'm the only person in the area, but they're actually all across the country. Let me ask you this. It started in 2008. The first of us were in 2009. I started in early 2010. How have you seen retirement planning and topics around that change in this last decade from when Safe Money Radio started to now? What big things have you seen change in the industry or regarding retirement planning?
Gosh, I don't know if there has been a ton of change. I mean, especially now, the 2022, the market that we're in is, I think it's sort of highlighted right now because of the awareness, because of the market is down so much. So, I mean, it's,
yes.
as I'm listening to you talk, about our family and across the country, a family of retirement planning specialists, it's sort of heightened right now. Just the impact that consumers and retirees and people who are about to retire are having because of inflation, not just the market, but of course, inflation, taxes, all of those. Even since when we started, I mean, those concerns, those fears, that doesn't change.
It doesn't.
It doesn't change at all. I mean, some of the tools maybe in education evolve and as tax law changes or those types of things.
Yeah.
But the concerns and fears that people have, they don't change.
Yeah. The number one fear has remained constant: running out of money before you run out of life. So every person that calls says, hey, I've opened my brokerage account and it's not where I thought it was going to be. I'm scared. Or especially this year when we watched inflation go up to 9%, which was crazy. People don't realize when they work for the old school jobs that have pensions and lump sum distribution options, that when interest rates go up, those lump sum options do the reverse. They go down. Mm-hmm. So people got their statements and saw what their lump sum distribution was going to drop to in 2023. And our phone starts ringing off the hook saying, hey, I got this letter saying if I don't elect my lump sum distribution option now, this is what my new amount's going to be in 2023. Why is it dropping by $100,000? The biggest one we saw, it dropped by $200,000. Well, that's because of inflation and the interest rates going up, and it has an inverse relationship with what's going to happen with how they determine your lump sum payout. So we've had a lot of business where people have said, we can't afford to keep working and hope that it comes back. We can't take a $200,000 loss. So their retirement came a lot quicker than they thought it was going to. But I can certainly tell you this, being on the radio for 13 years, there's one thing that I've watched change. Like you said, everything's been pretty constant. But, over the years, and this is crazy, but I've written over 1,000 annuities for clients. Just in the month of September of 2022, I wrote 20. Totaling $8,140,000 in rollovers in 1 month. So I've structured over 1,000 annuities. And back in 2008, 2009, the word annuity was a 4-letter word. If you said the word annuity, you were cursing at someone. They're like,
got to consider the source, Brad.
That's right. Yeah. My grandfather said, never own one of those. Yeah. Or this guy I listened to on the TV said, never buy an annuity. But we've really watched that change. And so now, and this is what's really cool, we have locally here in Springfield, we have hosted a movie that has kind of become a phenomenon. It's called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. We've been the only financial planning group in the Ozarks to do this, but we've hosted it 4 times now. And we did that this week. We did it in August. We did it now. And on Tuesday and Wednesday, we were packed out. We didn't have any room left for seats. And the people that came, when they watched this documentary on what's going on in the financial world in the United States, people are realizing there weren't any financial advisors in the movie. There weren't any salesmen in the movie. It was all people with their PhDs. It was economists. It was people that worked in our government, that worked in the Bush administration, people that work in the administration now. And the interesting thing is, you have people like Dr. Olivia Mitchell, Dr. Mosh Milevsky, Dr. David Babel, Dr. Wade Fowle from the American College. You have economists like Tom Hegna. You have America's IRA expert, Ed Slott. All these people all agree on one thing. They agree on the fact, and that's probably a caller calling us right now wanting more information. They agree on one thing. Annuities should be a part of every single person's retirement income plan. Not all of it, but a portion of the money should be in the retirement income plan, along with stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash accounts, that sort of thing. But it's because there needs to be an element of safety and guaranteed retirement income. So have you seen people's opinions change on annuities over the years?
I think yes. I mean, back in 2008, I think annuity was a four-letter word. But again, I say consider the source. Who's saying that? Yeah. And who's saying it now? When you see a market like you were talking in 2022 that's down 20% or more, they're not saying that right now.
That's right.
Because people aren't losing the value. Their income is not going down because it's tied to the market, of course. So,
sure.
So it's we in that respect, we have seen some changes for sure.
It's great to get phone calls from new clients who have listened for a long time and they got an account like this, and then they call in a market downturn and say, "Hey, I looked at my account and all my money's still there." Yeah, that's what we said was going to happen. I love this thing. It's fantastic. Can I get another one? So it's pretty cool to see things like that happen.
Absolutely.
But hey, if you're listening right now and you've never heard any of this type of information, you want to know more about how you can protect your income and your hard-earned money, just give us a call. 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. We'll give you a copy of our free information that we've shared with literally thousands of people all across the country. We'll be glad to give it to you absolutely free. Call us anytime at 866-780-7233. There's someone standing by right now to take your call.
I just thought about one other thing. You're one of your colleagues up in Michigan.
Yes.
Talks about the importance of insuring your greatest assets.
Yeah.
And I think when we think about that, the first thing that comes to mind is our house. And he will ask people that he's meeting with, do you insure your house? And of course, they always answer, of course I insure my house. Well, why do you do that? Because of potential fire, right? I don't want my house to catch fire and burn down. There is a very, very, very remote chance that your house would actually burn down, but yet you carry insurance for that, right? Why not for your most important retirement accounts? From market loss, lots of different reasons, of course, and I know that you can help a lot of people. You look at people that in this country that are age 65, there is a 70% chance that they will need some form of long-term care in their lifetime.
Absolutely.
70%. Yet nobody's prepared for this. And I know you're helping a lot of people and serving a lot of people in that way too. So I don't know, that's just popped in my brain.
That's excellent, Carl. It is the purple elephant in the room. We say if you have a married couple sitting in front of us, we'll say the chances are that 1.5 of you are going to end up in need of care. 70% chance.
Right.
It's not 50. So one of you, and maybe one of you for a long period of time, maybe a year, but one of you may have fall and break a hip, slip on the ice, have something happen, have a surgery. You might need a rehabilitation for a couple of months. So people are often ignoring the type of biggest risk that there are. There are risks on our homes. We just found that in Florida in the big storms this week.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
On our cars, we insure them. We insure our boats. We insure everything under the sun. Why in the world would you not insure your greatest asset, which would be your life savings, your retirement? And that's what we've been offering people on Safe Money Radio for more than a decade, how to insure your retirement, protect yourself from ever losing your balance, your principal, but also your future income and what you're going to pass on to your heirs. So we're glad to help with this. If you have questions, you want more information, if you want to find out how to insure your 401k or your IRA, your Roth, your cash accounts, just give us a call. We're glad to help. 866-780-SAFE, 866-780-7233. Carl, we're so grateful that you're here to join us today. Those of you that have been listening or watching online, give us a call anytime. We're glad to help. 780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. Well, I must take a short break. This is Brad Pistole, and you're listening to Safe Money Radio. Let's pause for some exciting announcements.
Are you concerned about long-term care? You're also probably concerned about paying the high cost of long-term care coverage and increasing rates. Some long-term care rates have increased by as much as 40%. Thanks to recent changes made by Congress, you may be able to use non-qualified tax-deferred retirement money to pay for your long-term care tax-free. Some hybrid long-term care annuities or life insurance solutions can even double or triple your funds available for care. If you have non-critical health issues, you should still call us. Some insurance products have simplified underwriting, and a simple telephone interview will determine your qualification. Call us now if you want information on this opportunity to use tax-free money to pay for your long-term care. Our phone number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I am a capital preservation and strategic income planning specialist working with clients right here in Springfield and Ozark, Missouri. If you had any money invested in any type of stock market account in 2022, you probably didn't enjoy opening your statements. In fact, in September of 2022, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average suffered their biggest losses since March of 2020 when the pandemic first began, and it was the worst September for both indexes in 20 years since 2002. Now, if you're 30 years old, this probably didn't bother you one bit. In fact, current research shows that a majority of 30-year-olds haven't even started focusing on their retirement savings. They're too busy worrying about surviving current economic conditions. When the inflation rate is over 9% and things like gas, food, and utilities are through the roof, the last thing on a 30-year-old's mind is their 401k or their retirement savings. Now, when the markets are down 20 to 25% and you're 40 to 50 years old, you've probably been trained by your advisor to think about what a great buying opportunity it is. So you probably don't worry about your balance. But I can guarantee you this: if you're 60 years old or older, the stock market crash of 2022 probably has your attention, and it should. And I'll tell you why. Because retirement planning experts like world-renowned economist Tom Hegna and a whole other host of PhD-educated economists are on the record saying the 5 years before you retire and the 5 years just after you retire are the most important years to protect your retirement portfolio. Now, why is that? Why is this 10-year period of time so important when it comes to keeping your money 100% safe? Well, I can tell you exactly why. It's because of something called the sequence of returns risk. And the sequence of returns risk is vitally important to the success or failure of your retirement income plan. Friends, I'm a retirement income certified professional through the American College of Financial Services, and so is my son Hunter Pistole. We both have our RICP designations. This financial designation isn't just a bunch of fancy words. It's one of the two most sought after financial designations that exist, and this is why. The Retirement Income Certified Professional course is a 9-hour college course that focuses on 18 different key retirement income planning topics. This involves things like creating an effective retirement income plan, identifying retirement income needs and objectives to establish realistic retirement goals, choosing the appropriate strategies to address gaps in your income, evaluating key risks in your portfolio and addressing these risks, choosing the appropriate strategies for turning your assets into lifetime income, and integrating the approaches, risks, products and strategies that will create an effective retirement income plan. And friends, that was just one small part of Section 4 from 18 different key retirement income planning topics covered in the RICP material. As you know, you can find a financial professional on just about every single street corner in every major city in the United States. And no matter who you talk to, they claim to be an expert. But let me ask you this, what makes them an expert? Is it because they passed an exam 30 years ago? Does that make them an expert? Friends, our team is committed to ongoing education. I have 3 different financial designations. I'm a retirement income certified professional through the American College of Financial Services. I'm a certified annuity specialist through the Institute of Business and Finance, and I'm a certified financial fiduciary through the National Association of Certified Financial Fiduciaries. I'm required to do more than 50 hours of ongoing financial education training every single year, and this doesn't even include the 50 plus hours I spend every year sitting at the feet of America's IRA expert Ed Slott when I train with the Master Elite IRA Advisor Training Group 6 days a year, and there's only 400 of us all across the country. When we go through years like 2022, when the markets are 20 to 25% in the hole, do you feel confident about the advice you're being given by your financial expert? Are you always told to stay the course no matter what's happening in the markets? Have you ever had an in-depth financial planning meeting to discuss your goals and purposes for your retirement? Or were you just sold something? Because I can assure you of this, there's a big difference in the two. One involves planning and the other just involves selling. If you would like a free financial planning consultation with a team of retirement income planning experts, then you're listening to the right show. I'm a 2022 Springfield Business Journal trusted advisor. I've taught more than 1,000 local clients just like you how to develop a personalized retirement income plan that will last the rest of your life. That's why I wrote my latest best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. I would love to give you a free copy of this book. Just call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. I will show you how to protect your hard-earned money from crashes like we experienced in the markets in 2001, 2008, 2020, and 2022. And I will show you how to turn your assets into lifetime income that lasts forever. I'll even show you how you can get up to a 25% bonus added to your retirement income account on the first day you move from risk to safety. My number again is 866-780-7233. Just give us a call and learn the information that will change your family's financial future for generations to come. Our number again is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
Brad Pistole recently completed the Retirement Income Certified Professional course through the esteemed American College of Financial Services. This elite financial designation sets Brad apart as an expert when it comes to asset preservation and lifetime income planning. The RICP program focuses on key retirement decisions like building your retirement portfolio, evaluating the various retirement risks, choosing the appropriate strategies for turning assets into income, choosing the appropriate time to retire, helping clients maximize their Social Security, choosing the appropriate annuities for your retirement income plan, choosing the appropriate tax-compliant distributions from tax-deferred company plans, choosing the best Medicare health plans for the retiring client, choosing the best way to deal with long-term care in retirement, ethical issues in retirement income planning, and managing the appropriate strategies for taking lifetime income. If you're concerned about the safety of your money, and if you want to make sure you have guaranteed lifetime income you can never outlive, make sure you're working with a retirement income certified professional. like Brad Pistole. For a free financial consultation, call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. When you meet with Brad, he will give you a copy of his best-selling book, Bulletproof: The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. That number again to call Brad is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Now back to more Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Thank you for tuning in to Safe Money Radio. I am Brad Pistole, a market risk mitigation specialist helping clients with retirement money preservation and income planning. Let me ask you a few questions as we get started. Did you enjoy watching your retirement accounts in 2001? Now, if you didn't have retirement accounts 20 years ago, or if you don't remember, maybe you will remember what it felt like when you opened your statements in 2008. How about in 2020? Do you remember what it felt like to open your brokerage account statements in March, April, and May of 2020, just after the pandemic started? Well, how about in 2022? You see, when the clock struck 8:30 a.m. on January the 2nd of 2022, the market started a skid that went virtually straight south for the first 9 months of the year. In fact, in September of 2022, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average suffered their biggest losses since March of 2020 when the pandemic first began. And it was the worst September for both indexes since 2002. Now, if you were 30 years old, this probably didn't bother you one bit. In fact, current research shows that the majority of 30-year-olds haven't even started focusing on their retirement savings. They're too busy worrying about surviving current economic conditions. When the inflation rate's over 9% and things like gas and food and utilities are through the roof, the last thing on a 30-year-old's mind is their 401k or their retirement savings. But when the markets are down 20 to 25% and you're 40 to 50 years old, you probably still hang on to what you've been trained by your advisor, which is something like this. This is such a great buying opportunity. So you probably don't worry about how much your balance has changed. But I can guarantee you this. If you are 60 years old or older, the stock market crash of 2022 probably has your full attention, and it should. And I'll tell you why. Because retirement planning experts like world-renowned economist Tom Hegna and a whole host of other PhD educated economists are on the record saying that the 5 years before you retire and the 5 years just after you retire are the most important years to protect your retirement portfolio. Now, why is that? Why is this 10-year period of time so important when it comes to keeping your money 100% safe? I can tell you exactly why. It's because of something called the sequence of returns risk, and the sequence of returns risk is vitally important to the success or failure of your retirement income plan. In fact, on September 27th of 2022, during the worst month for the S&P and Dow Jones in 20 years, Tom Hegna wrote this, quote, "Sequence of returns risk is something many people don't understand," end quote. He went on to say that he had recently read a great article that explains what this is and how it works. Now, the title of that article is As the Market Falls, New Retirees Need a New Plan by David Rodek. Now, this is what David says, quote, "Anyone newly retired or nearly so must feel like they have the worst timing in the world. A portfolio tends to be largest near retirement, just before those savings are about to be drawn down. These days, however, most portfolios have lost value. The S&P 500 is down about 20% so far this year. The financial industry has a name for this scenario, sequence of return risk. It matters most at retirement when you're selling assets for income." Now, friends, Dr. Wade Pfau, who is a professor of retirement at the American College of Financial Services, has been interviewed by a lot of people, and this is something that Dr. Pfau said, quote,
You need to sell a large number of shares to get the same amount of money. Those shares are then gone, so even if the market bounces back, your portfolio won't recover as much." End quote. In this article about the sequence of returns risk and how it affects retirees, David Rodek suggests several ways for retirees to deal with market volatility and the sequence of returns risk. He suggests reducing your withdrawal rate, taking withdrawals from non-market-based accounts, and possibly even delaying your retirement. But he also suggested the following. He said, quote, "Consider an annuity. For help offsetting market volatility, you should shift some of your portfolio to an annuity, which turns your payment into future income. Some annuities offer guaranteed payments for life that don't change based on market returns." End quote. And I couldn't agree more. You see, I personally own 6 annuities, and I've structured more than 1,000 annuities for my clients over the years. I've spent my entire career teaching people all across the country how to create sources of income that don't depend on the stock market or any other type of volatile market. When we go through years like 2022, when the markets are 20 to 25% in the hole, do you feel confident about the advice you're being given by your financial expert? Are you always told to stay the course no matter what's happening in the markets? Have you ever had an in-depth financial planning meeting to discuss your goals and purposes for your specific situation? Or were you just sold something? Because I can tell you this, there's a big difference in those two things. One involves extensive planning, and one just involves selling. If you would like a free financial planning consultation with a team of retirement income planning experts, then you're listening to the right show. I am one of the 2022 Springfield Business Journal Trusted Advisors of the Year. I have taught more than 1,000 local clients just like you how to develop a personalized retirement income plan that will last the rest of your life. You see, that's why I wrote my latest best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. It changes people's lives, and I would love to give you a free copy of this book. Just call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. I will show you how to protect your hard-earned money from crashes like we experienced in the markets in 01, 08, 2020, and 2022. And I will show you how to turn your assets into lifetime income that will last forever. I'll even show you how you can get up to a 25% bonus that will be added to your retirement income account on the first day you move from risk to safety. And you will never pay a fee again. My number again is 866-780-7233. Give us a call and learn the information that will change your family's financial future for generations to come. Our number again is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. Since I have to take a break, now would be a great time to call me for a complimentary copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. And I'll also give you a copy of my Safe Money Kit. My number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Isn't it time to stop exposing your retirement to market risk? You're listening to Safe Money Radio with Brad Pistole.
Are you age 59 and a half or older and still working? Did you know that you may be able to move some or all of your retirement money to an individual retirement account without any taxes? Why keep your money in your employer's plan with management fees, exposure to significant market risk, and limited options for guaranteed lifetime income that you can't outlive? What will happen to your plan at work if the market crashes? Call Brad Pistole now for retirement planning that will protect what you've worked so hard for and create a retirement that is safe and secure. Call 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Now back to more Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back to Safe Money Radio. I'm Brad Pistole, a certified financial fiduciary and a safe money retirement specialist. As you listen to the show today, how do you feel about the current economic condition of our country? Do you ever worry about your retirement accounts because of stock market volatility? Do you worry about Social Security and whether or not your future payments will ever be reduced, like many economists say is very possible by year 2032? I recently read an article that said 34% of Americans employed full-time report worrying about their finances while at work. And the cost to American employers due to the financial stress of their employees is estimated to be $4.7 billion a week. Now just think about that for a minute. If more than 1/3 of full-time employees are spending time at work worrying about their finances, then how does that impact their jobs? Have you ever purchased anything recently that didn't work? Have you found yourself thinking, boy, they just don't make things the way they used to? That's because people are in a fog. Many of them are depressed. They're worried about running out of money. And that doesn't even begin to mention the stress that comes from thinking about having enough money to retire on. Remember, once you stop working, you have to have sources of income that are going to last the rest of your life. And most people want those sources to be guaranteed. Well, here's a little hint. If you're living out of your brokerage accounts in retirement, good luck. Those payments are not guaranteed. Just think about what happened in 2022. The stock market dropped the majority of the year. When I wrote the information for this show, it was down about 22% for the year. In fact, in September of 2022, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average suffered their biggest losses in 1 month since March of 2020 when the pandemic began. And it was the worst September for both indexes since 2002. David Blanchett was recently interviewed by Dr. Wade Pfau, and he talked about a lot of current market conditions and how they are affecting retirees. Now you might be wondering, who is David Blanchett? Well, he is currently an adjunct professor of wealth management at the American College of Financial Services and a research fellow for the Alliance for Lifetime Income. He has his PhD, his CFA, and his CFP. And this is what David said about what retirees need to be doing to secure their lifetime income. Quote, "Annuities are definitely one of the more interesting things to think about and talk about. But there's only one way to guarantee lifetime income, and that's through some form of annuity. That could be a defined benefit plan, a pension, or you can purchase an annuity to actually help you create that guaranteed lifetime income. And I think that a lot of folks don't know where and how they work. But if you want more guaranteed income coming in beyond Social Security, then the annuity is the way to go." End quote. Friends, I'm a third-generation financial professional. My son is a financial advisor, and my father, Joe Pistole, was a financial advisor for more than 50 years. My father passed away on August the 29th of 2022, and I learned firsthand just how important having the right kind of financial plan in place is. You see, my parents were married for 57 years. My father did all of the financial planning. My mother had never even balanced a checkbook in 57 years. And then, without notice, my father passed away. We were forced to deal with loss and transition immediately. And I'm sure many of you who are listening to this can relate. But thankfully, after taking my advice 10 years ago, my father used part of his Merrill Lynch 401k that got crushed in the stock market in 2001 and in 2008 when he worked at Merrill Lynch to purchase 3 annuities. He took money out of his own 401k that had crashed twice and purchased 3 annuities. And then he also purchased a life insurance policy on himself. And to put it bluntly, these 3 annuities and the life insurance policy kept my mother from experiencing complete financial devastation. The life insurance policy provided immediate tax-free income, and the annuities continued a lifetime pension payment that will come into my mother every single month for the rest of her life, no matter how long she lives. My mother doesn't know anything about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or how the markets work, but she does know that these annuity payments will continue to show up in her bank account every single month for the rest of her life. And that, friends, is what brings peace of mind in a very difficult situation. So let me ask you this. When we go through years like 2022, when the markets are 20 to 25% down, do you feel confident about the advice you're being given by your financial expert? Are you always told to stay the course no matter what's happening in the markets? Have you ever had one single in-depth financial planning meeting with your advisor to discuss your goals and purposes for your retirement? Or were you just sold something? You see, I can assure you of this, there's a big difference in the two. One involves planning and the other involves selling. If you would like a free financial planning consultation with a team of retirement income planning experts, then you're listening to the right show. I'm one of the 2022 Springfield Business Journal Trusted Advisors of the Year. I've taught more than 1,000 local clients just like you how to develop and personalize a retirement income plan that will last the rest of your life. That's why I wrote my latest best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan, and I would love to give you a copy of this book free. Just call us anytime at 866-780-7233. I'll show you how to protect your hard-earned money from crashes like what we experienced in 01, 08, 2020, and 2022. And I will show you how to turn your assets into lifetime income that lasts forever. Our number again is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. Well, that's about all the time I have for Safe Money Radio this week, but before I go, I want you to know that I sleep at night knowing that my clients have retirement plans that remove the stress of market loss from the money they depend on for retirement. And I want you to sleep well at night too. Until next time and at the same time, I'm Brad Pistole, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
You've been listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe while avoiding market loss so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call Brad Pistole now for your complimentary Safe Money book and Safe Money information kit at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base annuity contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. The tax consequences of annuity income should be considered with the help of a licensed tax professional. Listeners should be aware of IRS penalties for withdrawing funds from an annuity before age 59 and a half. Fees may apply. Annuity guarantees are based on the insurance company's financial strength and claims-paying ability. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are taking just the first step towards protecting your retirement. It is important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program may vary based on state availability and are subject to change without notice.